You are a Democrat through and through. You love the party. You love the principles that the party stands for. Where does this party go from here exactly? Because part of the reason you wrote this book is you wanted them to learn lessons, as you talked about. What are some of the lessons that need to be learned, especially going forward into the midterms and into 2020 as well?
Well, I think the Democrats have learned a big lesson over the last few years. First of all, we cannot just target a handful of states. We have to become a 50-state party. We have to become a party that reaches out to Americans from all walks of life, suburbs, rural areas, as well as the inner cities of our country. We also have to become a party that is smart about having a message that resonates with the American people. We can no longer just go out there and say, he's a bad guy, she's a bad girl. We have to talk about issues that resonates with the American people, whether it's kitchen table issues, jobs, how do we rebuild our infrastructure? The American people want to hear solutions. They don't want to hear gratuitous attacks on each other. And I think we missed that moment in 2016 when we did not have a message that resonated with people across the board. We took multiple states for granted. The fact that Donald Trump was able to pick the lock in 3 important states that Democrats have carried for maybe 3 or 4 presidential terms. He picked the lock because we left the door open. We left the door open to voters and states, blue-collar voters, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, that really should have heard our message. Democrats can no longer rely on the 18 states in the District of Columbia without talking to those voters in those states. We know that the path to 270 requires us to go through the Rust Belt as well as the Southwest, and I hope in the future that the Democratic Party will become more competitive in my native South.
You did talk about solutions. You said gratuitous attacks just not going to work. How concerned are you about a lot of these Democrats talking impeachment with Trump? I mean, does that get them off on a sidetrack here a little bit?
I hear more from the grassroots and I hear from elected leaders, although there are some elected leaders who have proposed that solution. I remember back in 2006, Republicans went out and said the Democrats are going to impeach George Bush and Dick Cheney if they win back the House. Well, that didn't occur. I think Democrats need to focus on solutions, that we need to focus on big ideas. But at the same time, if we learn that President Trump and anyone else have committed mistakes, have broken the law, no one is above the law, clearly I do believe that Congress has a role in providing checks and balances as well as accountability to this administration and other administrations. But in terms of a message, impeaching the president is not a message that will resonate beyond the base of the party. We need to have a message that resonates beyond the base, to the middle, to independents and others who will make the difference in this election cycle.